blessed people, the Lord Jehovah Elohim, the Lord Jehovah Adonai, Jehovah Miskabi, Jehovah Eli, the Lord Almighty, Jehovah Rohi, my shepherd, Jehovah Seli, Jehovah Mekadishken, Jehovah Kana, the Lord, the mighty God, the jealous God of Israel, the Lord Jehovah Sori, the Lord our strength, my strength, the Lord our glory, my glory, Kabodi, Jehovah Hire, Jehovah Goel, Hoshea, Hashofet, Hamelech, Jehovah Gana, Imeku, Jehovah Rapha, Ori, the Lord my light, Jehovah Shalom, Jehovah Mashi, our refuge, Ma'oz, my fortress, Jehovah Magen, the shield, Sori, Yasha, Sidkenu, Jehovah Jireh. He has spoken with me, blessed people, about the signs of the coming of the Messiah. There is an earthquake coming to the earth, and the Lord has already put me this afternoon into that earthquake. I ran for my life. I saw the two prophets of Yahweh, one glorified and the other one in the physical body, running for their lives inside that earthquake. And as I was running, as we were running, it was tremendous fear. First of all, I saw young men on a wall, young men that fell on the wall when the wall almost collapsed. And then that's when we realized it was an earthquake, actually. When one of them was now almost falling into the wall, but still falling to this other side, but still holding his two hands up on the edge of the wall, the upper edge up there, but hanging his legs and his body on this other side. And then we realized this was an earthquake. Everything was shaking. We began to run. And then we feared the building would collapse. And then some parts of the building up, it was a tall building, they were shaking and the glass were falling on our heads. And debris was falling from up there, little pieces of rock like little stones and glass were falling, like raining on our heads, and we were running. We're fearing the building is going to collapse. And so when you see that earthquake, you'll see a wall. You see a wall upon which you see a lot of young men. Young people will be on top of that wall, trying to jump that wall. But then one of them will be hanging, holding up the wall, but hanging his body on this other side of the wall. You will see that feature on your news, CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, and all these global news networks. And it's a tall building. We were running in there, running for our lives. There is a massive earthquake coming to the earth. I know this is the second prophecy in a sequence in a row that I am giving regarding an earthquake coming. There was a recent earthquake I spoke coming to Burundi and another coming to Kenya. But now the Lord has spoken about this one also. And I see a lot of running, and it is tremendous. It's a very tremendous thing. The Bible in the book of Matthew, chapter 24, the Lord comes out very clearly when his disciples, the disciples of Jesus, were walking away from the temple with him. And he was walking towards the Mount of Olives, where he normally would sit there to be rebriefed by the Lord, renourished, and ministered to by the Holy Spirit. As he walked towards there, then his disciples drew his attention. The Bible says, the disciples, Matthew 24, verse 1 on, they tried to draw his attention to the magnificence of the architecture of the temple of the Lord, where they had just walked out from. And he told them, you see all this, it shall be brought down. The time is coming when no stone will be left on another. And then they were very shocked, but very quickly they came to understand that the Lord Jesus was talking about the signs of his return for the church and of the end of the age. The signs of the return of the Christ and of the end of the age. And then, in a very private briefing, he brought those few disciples at his feet. They sat at his feet on the Mount of Olives, sitting on that rock. Then he divulged. He finally revealed the signs that would happen when the seals of God would be broken at the throne of God, the seals of the scroll of God. When you look at Revelation chapter 6 and the breaking of the seals that the Lord has made us participate in before the throne of God on every occasion that he has broken one of the first 4 seals and released the horsemen. I have come to you live. I have given the prophecy. I have told you I've just arrived from the throne of God. I have seen the glorious Lamb of God right before God the Father breaking the seals of the throne, the seals of the scroll of God at the throne of God. I have been very public with that. And you have seen the onset of global economic crisis, the tremendous wars and what, and the disease, finally, the 4th horseman. And I say, their real action and mandate comes only after the rapture. Right now, they are simply making a signature to fulfill my words when I say I have seen the seals broken. And to make you understand the gravity and severity and how unbearable the tribulation will be, that you may be able to now take your salvation a little bit much more seriously, your holiness more seriously, and change your conduct, change your ways, and now prepare deliberately for the coming of the Messiah. Now, that prophecy you see in Revelation 6, it was given already by Jesus. So you could as well say that when Jesus was on the earth here, he being the deity of God, he being God, he was already aware of the content of the scroll of God that the Lord God gave him about 65 years after his ascension, sitting at the right hand of God the Father. It took about 65 years for God the Father now finally to give him that revelation, to give him the scroll. And so you can say that when he was walking on the earth here, he already knew the content of that scroll that is inside heaven. The scroll that the Lord has allowed me to touch. I have physically touched it. And that's why when his disciples came to him privately, while he's sitting on the rock of the Mount of Olives, a few disciples, then he made a private briefing. He said these will be the signs. And one of them was that there will be famines and earthquakes in various places. And these are the earthquakes the Lord is now sending me to prophesy to you. They are attached to repentance. They are anchored, tagged. They are pegged on repentance. They are pegged on preparing the way for the coming of the Messiah. So the Messiah is coming, blessed people. Be holy. Remember, without holiness, nobody will see the Lord. Thank you, Toda Rabba. Baruch Hashem. Le'itraot. Erev Tov.